Jurko, you were here for the post-game show. Your initial thoughts last night on what you saw last night. It was a pathetic effort. Yeah. First half, the Bears didn't move the football at all. Once again, same old story we've seen.
And, yeah, I guess you could say they were aggressive. They went for it on a 4th and 3 and a 4th and 1. One was a toss. The other one, they ran right into the line of scrimmage. Not a lot of imagination. It was woefully unimpressive.
Yeah,
is the way I would look at it. They were never in that game. They were never in that football game, period. They were a distance. Even though they looked like they weren't in it, boy, if they could just find a way to execute every once in a while, it'd be nice. just execute like a normal football team can execute. Average football teams can execute.
Just be normal.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the Bear, and here's your big plays. You're going to get maybe 2-3 chances to hit big plays. Was DJ Moore or Keenan Allen that broke loose on the left side was wide open and was overthrown for a touchdown pass? It was on the left side, far side. He had broke free. There's a chance to go ahead and connect. Yeah. So and that ends up being overthrown.
Right.
Those are touchdowns. Most teams score touchdowns on those plays. The Bears don't score touchdowns on those plays. So it's unfortunate. You pass up points, so those points you can say goodbye to when you decide you're going to pass them up. You don't want to try to kick a field goal. I thought they competed, but they just they compete every once in a while. Take a look, we're flying around. I thought Kyler Gordon had a good game. I thought Six went out there and played well. I thought Stevenson played well, but he can't resist the urge to go ahead and engage with the audience, just don't engage with the fans. Keep your focus on the football field.
You
don't
didn't
engage
like
with
the skull chant down, what were they at that point, 10-0?
Yeah.
You got to do the skull chant?
There needs to be a focus. All you've got to do is focus. Just focus your brain, channel your energies into the right direction. I think he's a talented player. Unfortunately, he's allowing distractions to get the better part of him on the football field. That upsets me. 72, is it 72 or 74? Who's the left tackle last night? 72.
Amaganji.
Technique flaws all night. Technique flaws. You block with your legs. You get to where you need to be with your legs. That way you don't have to lean. You don't put your arms out there and get punched. When you put your arms out, you punch with ferocity. When you just kind of lay your hands out there, they're there to be taken advantage of. And they were. And he kept what I call undercutting himself with his steps. When you take your step and you drive off your right leg and you go back, that needs to be a full, complete step. You can't cut that in half. He was cutting it in half, and then when he felt like he was beat, he was turning, and when he turned, he was beat. He was done. He was over.
He was unplayable last night, Jurko, and I get that's a tough spot to throw the rookie in there, but you're a third-round pick.
Yeah.
You're a third-round pick who's completely unplayable.
Everything I need to know about Braxton Jones, I found out 2 days ago. Everything I need to know about Braxton Jones. At the end of the year, I thank him for his efforts, and I send him on his merry way.
So you didn't like that the concussion syndrome came on late?
No. 6 days later? No. I don't like that at all.
That's interesting because
Did you have a headache? I mean, what'd you have?
Well, it had to have been something.
Migraine? Did you have a migraine?
For them to say he's out.
Yeah, I know. Well, when things get tough, answering the bell is one of the hardest things in the world to do. Putting the uniform on, getting out there and competing is one of the hardest things to do. It's all right, though. I know, though. Now I know. Now I know.
I'd say this. The one thing that I kept coming to last night watching another boring, pathetic effort from the Chicago Bears. Like, it's not even fun to watch these games because they don't even give you a moment of hope. In the first half, second half, you start to move the football, but once you move the football, mindless errors where you send in an offensive lineman who doesn't report. Yeah. Like, what in the hell are you doing?
Second series, Cole Kmet's in the backfield. He's got a chance to get a guy runs right by him. He lets him go, and he makes the tackle.
Yeah, like, it's just constant
what are you doing?
Mistakes. And, Jurko, when I'm watching the game last night, and I've thought this now for probably a couple of weeks, and Dan Wiederer's piece in the Tribune on Friday kind of solidified it in my mind, I can't watch this team play and think that Ryan Poles deserves a chance to continue as the GM. Like, if you want him to stay, You need to sell me on why he needs to stay.
Well, I'm not looking to sell anybody on anything. Just listen.
Well, the talent level is so low on this team.
The mob is hungry.
Okay, but when you watched the game last night.
The mob is hungry. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Compare the talent, though, to across the field.
They want heads. That's what they want. They want bodies. They want people to pay the price. That's what they want. At some point, you've got to keep some consistency out there. I'm going to tell you, 72 is not as bad as he looked last night. I'll tell you that right now.
That you're more than welcome to die on that island.
Yeah, I'm
not going with you on that one.
I will. I've got no problem dying on that island because I saw what he was doing. I saw the mistakes that he was making. So a good coach would be able to correct that.
Sure.
A good coach would be able to. Get him to the sideline and correct it right away. Unfortunately, the Bears are where they're at. Now, there's a better chance of Ryan Paul staying and that offensive line coach not being a part of this anymore. And when I tell you he was undercutting himself, that's what he was doing.
Sure.
He wasn't taking a full step back. I'm telling you, I got more faith in 72 becoming a player, okay, than I do in anything else that's going on out here. So I'll die on that vine. I ain't got a problem with that one.
And like, what annoys me is that when you start to look at younger players or players
and
who
he
brought
is
in,
a younger player.
Sure, absolutely.
Without the benefit of a training camp, he conditioned poorly. I don't know if he's seen the inside of the weight room since he's been here because he's got mush arms. He needs a little time in the weight room to help hone that body.
Still a third-round pick, though, Eric.
I understand. I understand 100%. A third-round pick taken by Ryan Poles as a project when this team really can't take on projects. But I still got faith in him as a player, though.
See, this is where you say that the mob wants...
they want heads.
Heads to roll.
The mobs want heads.
But when you look at every move that Ryan Poles has made, where do you give him the positives? I mean, you listed last week here on the show.
Brisker.
Okay, Gordon.
Stevenson.
Well, Brisker.
TJ Edwards.
We don't know if he's going to be here in the future.
I got you because of his concussion, but TJ Edwards.
Yeah, TJ Edwards, great signing.
Thank you.
Caleb Williams. I'll give credit. Caleb Williams.
Adunze.
You have your quarterback. You have a wide receiver.
Moore.
Yeah,
TJ Moore.
DJ Moore?
DJ Moore, yes, DJ Moore.
Has he played this season like a number one wide receiver?
It's funny, with the worst quarterback, every wide receiver is dependent upon what?
Service?
They got to have service.
Well, he's playing running back
why
now.
Are they? Well, because they want to get him the football and they want to keep him interested. I actually thought it was a nice little ploy.
I
keep
wanted
DJ Moore interested because as a receiver, with the offense struggling the way it was, receivers have a tendency to get frustrated, not just in the city of Chicago. You've got frustrated receivers all over this league.
You and Waddle are going to be great on this. I want to know, and I don't have it pulled up, when you get a chance, that first handoff to DJ Moore.
Right.
He ran up the right side and then kind of fizzled out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
It looked as if, to me, there was an offensive lineman blocking ahead of him downfield, and there was an open lane to continue for a major big play early in the game. I don't know if you saw that while the game was going on or if Waddle saw that, but, like, to me, that just goes back to the DJ Moore thing where, like, he's giving you some of the effort, but then it's let's take the easy way out. Let's duck out of bounds because why do we need more yardage? I don't know. The play looks good.
We could always use more yardage.
That's my point.
You also have a guy that's not accustomed to taking the ball in the backfield and running and having the vision looking up blockers. This is a guy that's used to catching the football, planning, and then going and understanding the numbers that are back there when they're back there. So I'm not trying to defend him, but I'm just trying to maybe throw a scenario out there that might help explain. I got what I could out of it, and then I'm stepping out of bounds. We used to criticize Marvin Harrison all the time
for getting down.
Yep. He might have been the smartest player ever in the history of football.
It was him and Torrey Holt
because he played how many years?
Long time,
uninjured. Right? Why put yourself into the fray to get injured? If you're not available, you're not helping your football team. Marvin Harrison was always available for his football team. So while we criticized him when he was young, he might have been the smartest player in there.
Well, he also caught everything thrown at him, which has been an issue with DJ Moore.
And with Keenan Allen.
Last night.
And Rome Odunze.
Right. You've got players all over this roster who can't help you win. Yet this team is so good that it's going to be difficult to make the roster. I mean, it's why. And then, they throw up the graphic last night on Monday Night Football. You had to smile last night seeing the graphic of Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, Amagaji's on there.
Torrey Taylor's on there.
Torrey Taylor, a punter.
Austin
for
Booker.
a team that is 4-10. You select a punter in the fourth round, and where's Austin Booker been?
Austin Booker's been on the sidelines learning the game, learning his craft.
Has Austin Booker done a single thing since the preseason?
He's had a sack and a half. He's had 1.5 sacks.
1.5 sacks this season for a rookie.
For a rookie, 1.5 sacks. That's what he's been able to do. The 144th pick overall, a guy that you traded a 4th-round pick to draft in the 5th round.
And that all of that goes back to the thesis that Ryan Poles has put this team in this spot. This is no longer Ryan Pace's issue. This is not GMs of the past. Poles has put this team together. They were expected to win this season.
Oh, yes.
They have failed big time at that.
11 victories is what I was looking for.
You had 11. I had 10. And I'm not just upset because I was wrong. I'm upset because it's bad football. It's boring to watch.
2022 draft choice, Dominic Robinson had a punt block.
That's the first time I realized he was on the team this season.
As did I. Gordon a player, Brisker a player. Velus Jones Jr. bust. Braxton Jones going to be cut after this year.
Velus Jones wasn't a bust. He was released after keeping him on the roster, 4
3
weeks
years?
in?
2.5 years, right?
Yeah.
He was a redshirt for 2 years.
But they pumped his tires up during Hard Knocks and training camp.
And they didn't get a draft choice back for him. But I'm just going through it.
Yeah.
Braxton Jones should be released after this year. Dominic Robinson reappeared after disappearing forever. I don't know who Zach Thomas is. San Diego State offensive lineman gone, I'm assuming. Treston Ebner's gone. Doug Kramer slipped my mind. Slipped my mind. They got him in the 6th round. Doug Kramer. Ugh,
You
awful.
ever play with someone that their response is, it just slipped my mind for something like that?
No.
You ever have a moment on
Slipped
the
my
field
mind.
where it just slipped your mind that you had to do something?
I've never seen anybody that came in from the sideline specifically to be a fullback and or say a tight end or a guy that didn't have the right number playing a position that you were an eligible receiver. I'd never seen anybody not come in and go straight to the official and saying 68 report. 68 report. That's it.
He was so happy to be in the huddle.
Do you see him giddy as a little schoolgirl?
He's doing little
He's
jumps.
all jumpy. He's adjusting
Getting ready.
his shoulder pads. Oh, I'm so ready. I'm Doug Kramer. Here we go. Ah! And then the penalty flag flies, and he's just looking there going, what's going on? What's happening? I don't know. We just scored a touchdown. What's happening? I'm Doug Kramer. Oh, I am number 68. Yes. 68 report. Late. It's late. It's too late.
After the touchdown celebration, you report. How
Then
about
he
that?
runs off to the side. Coach, it slipped my mind.
Well, also, I will find a way to draw this back to Ryan Poles.
Go ahead.
It was his decision to not have a fullback on the roster. Abdallah and I have talked about this the entire season on our show at night.
Who was our guy? Blassingame, right?
Blassingame, not on the roster. They love putting a fullback in at the goal line. They don't have a fullback on the roster. What are you doing?
Yeah, they don't.
You don't have a fullback on the roster. I get it. You don't want to have it. You don't want to do it. I'm old school. I like the fullback. I think it's a valued position. I think it gives your team balance. You don't know if it's a pass or run out of those formations. You could play action, whatever it is. And I thought Blassingame was a nice player. Shout out to our guy, Jason McKee. He's our fullback here at ESPN 1000.
Yes, he is. Yes, he
But
is.
you choose not to have a fullback. Twice now, on the goal line, they have been burned by Kramer. I'm like, that goes back to Ryan Poles. You don't have a fullback on the roster.
That's Kramer. Right. One of his draft choices that keeps getting sent out there over and over and over again.
It's amazing.